I'm really amazed about what he will be showing.
Do you have an upper?
Yeah, it's kind of the Thomson Reuters now have the
Look at that. Well done.
yeah, this is progress actually. Not only with the API, with the presenting technology as well.
Right. So my name is Jorge Santos, and I head the product management for Icon Framework. I was not going to speak. I was not in the list. And then Eve just came around before the talk and said, would you like to present the updates on the Python API? Now, yeah, that would be cool. Do you have anything to show? No. So we just sat down and tried to work something out quickly. So it's actually pretty good. So you can see how easy it is what we're building for you to consume from API. Right, so for those of you who are not familiar, Icon is the main desktop financial offering that Thomson Reuters has, where we offer all access to all the data for end users, as well as analytics and visualization tools. So from around a year and a half ago, all the desktop product is available through web as well, through a browser. So as you see right now, I'm seeing Icon, the whole thing through a browser. I can just see any application loads through a browser, do all the analytics, and everything you may want to do from a product like this, right? Which means that all the data and analytics can be accessed as well through a web environment, right? So what we're starting doing is building all these web APIs, which can be accessible through not only Python, but R, MATLAB, and anything you can name that it can access a web API. And start offering those ones so you can start doing your analytics, your own consumption of data, right? So just to show you quickly what I have is just, in this case, as you can see, I'm running Mac. So it's not, I do not require Windows or an installation to be running this. I just install my Icon proxy, which I can just start getting, and it opens a web port, which I can start accessing data directly from, right? Just a quick example. For example, if I can just say I want to just import Icon as a library itself, and I can see that it has multiple things that I can do, get data, history, membership, etc. So for example, let's say get history for IBM, my defaults, because it has some defaults. In this case, it's defaulting to have 1 year of data. Let's say just get history for IBM, and I can get all my data frame, already ready in a data frame. So you don't need to do any processing with it. It's already ready for you to use. Or this is a time series for daily prices. For example, in this case, I want to get history for HSBC and RBS. I want to get the closing price from 4 years ago until now, right? And I want to get this in a data frame. So basically, just get all my data. I can see my data frame straight away. I can say I want to get those ones. I want to plot them, and you, with 2 steps, get all your time series in IPython for you, ready to use, right? So again, this is, so for example, here, if I go to normalize this one so we can see it better. Right, so we can see all the data straight away. So again, it took me 3 lines to get time series, 4 years, daily prices, and single ones, right? So that's quite cool, historical data. What about streaming data? Okay? So we want to get, the true power of getting your Icon is to see all this real-time data streaming, right? So let's go to an example of how this would look. So again, I can just start importing my Icon library. I'm going to use JSON just to do some manipulation of dictionaries. And WebSockets, because again, being a web API, I can just open any WebSocket and start consuming real-time data. Okay? I'm going to use Plotly, so I can just show some visualizations after that. The only thing that we need to do is set an app ID. So what we're allowing you to do is you can just manage your own applications. You just can generate as many app IDs as you want, just for you to manage everything that is being consumed properly app by app. Right? So let's see an example. So I'm using here just proper, like regular WebSockets. Send a message whenever there's an event. I just want to print the message. This is just a local port that is being opened from Icon. So I want to just get a bunch of fields. In this case, I'm just saying I want to get display name, bid, and ask for any number of instruments. I can subscribe to almost up to 3,000 instruments to be getting real-time data, and you can use it all at once, right? In this case, let's just use one. Let's just use euro, so we can see tick by tick coming in, right? So just create this URL, and then just whenever there's an event, whenever you have any real-time value, just print it, right? So I can just try this one and see how it looks. So it subscribes, start getting data, just printing all these dictionaries straight away, right? And again, you can be subscribing to thousands and thousands of instruments, right? So let's just make this a bit nicer. So we're going to use Plotly, get a bunch of streaming ideas. So what we're doing here is just creating 2 streaming parameters in Plotly, so you can start just posting data to a chart. Okay? We're going to create 2 scatter plots, okay? Which is just 2 empty scatter plots. In one of them, we're going to start charting ask. The other one, we're going to get bit values. Okay? So this is just pure Plotly things. Okay? So I run this one, and it creates my empty scatter plot. Right? What we're going to do here is we want to open 2 streams, right? To start charting both our bid and ask. Okay? And we're going to change our message, and whenever we get a new update from Icon, just display on an x-axis, display the value or the timestamp, and y-axis when I have 2 for ask and bid, right? And you display x and y. We just run these 2 events, and we can start getting data. And we can see like tick by tick just starts updating all the values you get, right? You can be doing this with, again, you can get thousands of rigs and showing these ones at once, right? And again, this takes you a couple of lines to get it done, start getting your data here. We can try just to see, let's try this. Actually, let's add the dealer of each of these codes, so it makes a bit more sense. Let's go here and display here. Yeah, run it again. Oops, stop it. Yeah. Right, so you can start just getting every single dealer that is sending those codes. You plot them. You can do whatever you want with these ones, right? Basically, to show you that you can get time series, real-time data, screening analytics. You can just perform pricing. We have backend pricing as well for all analytics for you that are familiar with Thomson Reuters, Adfin, everything that was very heavy calculations. Now it's all server-side, so you can execute them on server-side, do all your pricing, swaps, portfolios, options, and just get all the values back through this very simple API. So it was a lightning talk for me. It was quite quick. It was all just, we quickly just put this together like some minutes before this started, just to share this with you. But if you guys have any questions. Right. So I guess I missed that part. This is right now, it's okay, so the reason, sorry, I just skipped that part because this is just, we're building this right now, right? So we have a set of, like if any of you is interested in testing this out, we're going to start our beta program in 4 weeks, okay? So we're building this right now, will be available on the first rollout in Mac and Linux. Windows comes after, okay? But Mac and Linux is going to be available. We're going to give you where to download this package you can just get in here. And right now it's a set of libraries in Python. Then we're going to build R and so on. But basically, if you're interested, just let me know. I mean, after the talks, and we can just guide you into how to do it, how to get it installed. Of course, you will need an Icon ID. So you need an Icon ID, and then you can just install all these APIs. You can start consuming data straight away.
Does it have to be Mac to Linux, or can it be any Linux?
It can be any Linux. The only thing that right now is because Windows comes on a different installation, but anything that is non-Windows, you can run it like that. But you were just testing Mac and Linux. I mean, it should work. Yeah.
Two questions actually. Do you do any smart throttling, say, produce text with a change of minimum 20% or something like that? For example, if you have too many text, your application will bust. And second question, is it available for public, for example, with a delay of some minutes just for testing purposes?
No. No, I mean, for Icon, the thing is like it's not a separate product from what you have in Icon. So it is Icon itself. As I showed before, this is the same data that is feeding all Icon. So it's giving you a different access point, but it's not a different product. So it is the same. I mean, if you want to get a free trial to test it out, you can. I mean, we have anyone here that can talk to you about how to, but it's not a public free access. In terms of throttling, yes, it does. It comes by default with some, I think it's like 20 updates per second by default. That can be throttled. If you get direct feeds, if you're an Icon user, have direct feeds, you can get up to 14,000 updates per second or trade safe or assist. It can be all of those managed and controlled.
And in terms of how many curves you have available, like do you have only structured data or do you have something?
We have, now this runs as well. It has news, it has Twitter feeds, social media, it has text analytics, so it just runs all across. I mean, all the Reuters news is available and on real time as well, so you can trigger alerts whenever there's a matching on a given news story. You can just do your queries for news as well. And it has real-time screening as well. You can be screening universes, both for news and instruments.
What about intraday time series, the ones with the small t? Let's say we're investigating.
Available as well.
Trade flat at a certain time.
All the tick data is here available.
Okay.
The same lane that you have on desktop, but all of that is available and already embedded in here. Well, I'm not making a sales pitch here, but I mean, we can do it really varies Icon licenses on depending the content you want to cover, because it can be all across as a class, or if you're interested in certain content, it has different prices, but we can talk about it. Right? So if anyone is interested, just let me know after the talk, and we'll be more than happy to work with you so you can try this out.
Thank you.
Thank you.